If you believe that Bitcoin is going straight to the moon, well, you should probably just go ahead and just exit out of this video. But first, make sure you leave a comment and tell me how stupid I am for telling you that Bitcoin might pull back from here. Now, let's take a look at the chart. Let's talk about what's going on with Bitcoin dropping from $62,000 down to $51,000. Is it time to run for the hills? Is it time to call your granny and see if she can loan you some more money so you can buy more Bitcoin? I'm going to talk about it right here in this video, so make sure you guys stay tuned. What's going on, crypto fanatics? I'm excited to have new things going on. We got a new microphone. This is the old web camera, but I got a new web camera coming. There's a lot of stuff going on right here on the channel. So if you guys are interested in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all that fun stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And well, if you haven't already, make sure you also hit the like button down below. It helps me keep the lights turned on so I can keep filming amazing videos for you guys talking about Bitcoin. Now, first off, let's talk about what's going on with Bitcoin. I know, it's very sad. It's very sad. Bitcoin's not just going straight to the moon like many predicted. Some predicted that Bitcoin would be $500,000 by this time in 2021, but here we are, and Bitcoin's only $52,000, which is so crazy to say, because if you go back here, guys, let's just go back a few months. Back in 2020, December 2020, the price of Bitcoin was right around $20,000, and now the price is $52,000, and people are complaining because Bitcoin dropped from 62 to 52. And now I've made this video before. I've made this video so many times over the last few years talking about Bitcoin, talking about what happens when these dips happen. Number one lesson of investing in Bitcoin is we're doing this long term, right? If you're just trying to buy Bitcoin at 52 and sell it at 53, your life is going to be miserable because you're never going to be able to time it just right, and you're never going to be able to flip it and do all that craziness, trying to trade it. Don't be the guy who buys at 60 and sells at 52. Don't be the guy who tries to buy it at 60 to sell it at 61 and then ends up selling at 52. It's not a good plan. It's not a good investment strategy. Now, I've talked about this so many times before, and people still have a hard time understanding. The opportunity to buy Bitcoin at a lower price is always a great thing, right? If you thought that Bitcoin was a good buy when it was $60,000, why are you crying that Bitcoin is now $52,000? Let's look at the chart and just kind of see what's going on. Now, the last time that Bitcoin made this high up there at the $40,000, remember, that was an all-time high at the time. Right? So when Bitcoin was 40,000, it pulled back down there to 29,000. Where on this pullback recently, after breaking up to that $58,000 area, we pulled back to 44, and then we made a new high. So when that's happening, it's bullish. When it's bearish in general is when things start happening, like we start making new lows. So if Bitcoin can't hold 52,000, it gets down here to 44 again, and then starts to crater and, really gets going to the downside, then we should be scared. But as long as Bitcoin is basically holding this trend of going up, little pullback, going up, little pullback, going up, little pullback, it's very, very bullish. And like I said, just 3 months ago, the price of Bitcoin was $20,000, and now it's $52,000. So for anyone out there who thinks that Bitcoin's going to zero, I don't know what kind of drugs you're smoking, but you might want to lay off the peace pipe. You might want to lay off the peyote or whatever you're smoking, because you got some crazy drugs out there. Now, what should you do if you're holding Bitcoin? Well, number one, you should probably think about your average here. If you bought, Bitcoin at the $40,000 area, it's at 52 now. Maybe you have some extra money laying around. Maybe you got your tax stimulus or whatever that, the stimulus, you got your tax money back. Maybe there might be an opportunity to buy Bitcoin for a discount at these levels. Now, a key area to keep an eye on for me personally is $44,000. Really, that $40,000 area is that kind of bearish, bullish scenario. I think if we can't hold 44, we would probably see $28,000 to $30,000 after that, because you can see, that high 44 correlates perfectly right where that all-time high was, turning that previous resistance into support, and then making that boom to the upside up there to 62,000. Now, for me, one thing that I like to look at as well is we really haven't had like a big sell-off. Even though Bitcoin's going down, we haven't had like a big crash just yet. So I don't think we're at a point of inflection or a point that really is going to start the rocket ship back up just yet. Because you can see we had these big old candles. Like this candle here dropped from 54,000 down to a low of, what, 44,000? And then, kind of bounced around and then went higher. But in general, when I'm really looking, if I'm like, hey, this is the time to be buying, I want to be buying those big kind of pullback days, because that's, number one, giving me a better cost average. It's giving me just less risk, better profit return if I do, look to trade it and things like that. But in general, we really haven't got that big sell-off just yet. This candle here, you can see all that wick there on the top, little volatility, I guess big volatility there. But I'm still thinking like maybe the next couple days we might get one more, big crash. Like give me like a 10 to 20, give me like a 20% crash day. And then, I might be looking for opportunities at that point. But I still don't think we've really had that big crash day just yet. We haven't really had that point where everyone's getting scared and everyone's selling just yet. It's going to come. And I made a video a couple months ago talking about, when Bitcoin makes that next high, there's that possibility of a pullback, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%, maybe 80% pullback, because this has happened many, many times in the past with Bitcoin. We've had these big runs to the upside and then a big pullback, a big run to the upside and then a big pullback. And a lot of that comes down to, number one, FOMO. You get investors who think that they're just going to buy Bitcoin at the highs and it's going to keep going higher and higher forever, because they weren't buying it back here when no one was talking about it. CNBC, all these, news stations and things like that. No one was talking about Bitcoin when it was here at the $8,000, $10,000 area. But now it's like everyone's talking about Bitcoin now that it's 52,000. So what does that tell me? That's telling me that there's a really good opportunity here, maybe a good opportunity for a pullback at some point as we get this type of action, because now I know everyone kind of FOMO'd into it, and guess what? They're going to be the ones that are going to be selling it at the lows and then buying back at the highs again. So if you're buying at the highs and you're selling at the lows, you're doing something wrong. You should probably go learn a little bit more about trading or investing. Really, you want to be buying when the market's red and you want to be selling when the market's going to the moon, not in reverse. You don't want to be FOMO buying once Bitcoin breaks above 80,000, and you don't want to be selling at the bottom when you bought at the top. That's just not a very good constructive way of trading or investing. So that's my number one thing that I always tell people about Bitcoin. If you have an opportunity to buy Bitcoin when it's crashing, I would feel much safer, much better to buy the discount than to buy when it's going straight to the moon and then sell at the bottoms once I get scared. And also, really, you should never be investing more money than you can't withstand to lose. Like if you emotionally become attached to the money that you have invested in Bitcoin, and all you can think about every single day of your life is, oh my gosh, I got so much money in Bitcoin, I don't know what to do, it's crashing, then you might have too much money invested. Really, your thing should be like, you should put enough money into it that you don't really focus on what the price is, but more so we're focused on getting more Bitcoin long term. So really, if you can invest like $100 a month or $500 a month, whatever it is, if you can invest a little bit of money every couple months or every couple weeks, whatever you want to do, every day. If you want to put $100 into Bitcoin every day, and you do that for the next 10 years, I can't promise you that you'll be a millionaire, but I can definitely promise you're going to be a lot better off than the guy who's buying at 60 and selling at 52. He's in a lot of trouble, and his wife's not going to be happy. He told his wife he was going to mortgage his house so he could buy more Bitcoin, and now he's selling his Bitcoin at 52, and he just lost $8,000 on that one Bitcoin. So don't be that guy or woman, or, I'm not trying to be sexist here, but I'm a guy, so normally, I would talk about other guys, but, I'm sure women do the same thing, or men, or whatever you associate your sex with. So that's the way I'm looking at it right here. Bitcoin back in 2017, everybody bought the top, everyone sold the bottom, and then we had an opportunity to be buying when it crashed, and then we are really, looking to consolidate through here, looking to add to our positions, looking to buy those dips, looking to build a position. We're not just like, hey, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. It's up 20% today. I got to buy it, right? I'm going to buy. No, my friends. It's the opposite. We want to be buying the dips. We want to be selling the rips, or maybe just buying the dips in general and just trying to add to our position long term. If your goal is to hold Bitcoin for the next 10 years, then you really shouldn't care that Bitcoin's dropping today, but you should be interested in possibly buying the dips along the way. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of ups and a lot of downs the next few years here in Bitcoin, as you know, the world really is in a very interesting place with inflation and the dollar and all these things just printing and printing and printing. Bitcoin is the one thing that they just can't keep printing. And the government knows that. Everyone knows that. That's why Bitcoin went from $10,000 to $60,000 in the last, 6 months? Less than 6 months? So there it is. Don't be worried. Be buying the dip. Be looking to hold. Be looking for opportunities. And just wait. Just be patience, baby. Patience, patience, patience. There it is. If you guys haven't already, do me one big favor. Hit that like button. Leave a comment down below. What's your investment strategy with Bitcoin? What do you think? Where we are right now? And I'll talk to you guys later on.